last night, the #1 overall pick of the WNBA draft. They've been on a campaign for the last 3 years to argue that Paige Bueckers, the UConn star, is actually better than Caitlin Clark. And last night, I think we figured out why that campaign's been going on, because it's not based in reality. Paige Bueckers is a very good college player, probably going to be a very good WNBA player, but she ain't on Caitlin Clark's level in terms of excitement or accomplishment. And I know they just won a national championship, but she played with 2 players that are either just as good, and Sarah Strong's probably better than her or will be better than her. Caitlin Clark took, a bunch of girls from Iowa to back-to-back national championship games. Regardless, what Paige Bueckers does far better and more often, and something that Caitlin Clark, I don't believe, has done, is Paige Bueckers scissors. And seems to scissor with her teammate, Ozzie Fudd, who will come back to UConn for 1 more year next year. And so Paige Bueckers showed up at the draft, and let's watch her, I think, on the red carpet with her teammate, Ozzie Fudd. Let's play that clip.
Look, before we continue, I'm going to be completely honest. This is why I've kind of not stepped away from the WNBA content as much, but there's a lot of things that have opened my eyes to a whole nother level. There are certain higher end media things that were said, especially on draft night. There was a couple interviews as well that were live as well, talking about why they like Paige. And it was very clear that this league is filled with girls who like girls. And I'm just being honest. I'm not here to say that's wrong for you guys or whatever you guys like to do on your times, whatever you guys like to do on your time. But what I would say is this: I have seen a lot of Paige Bueckers, AZ Fudd stuff on Twitter, a lot of things over the past years, a lot of things just recently. And it seems like the ones who are so proud of Paige and talking so highly of Paige, they all like women. Another reason I see Paige, and I've been saying this, Paige is not going to have the same type of aggression played towards her. She will not have the same hate towards her, because she talks about black people a lot, and she advocates for that, which is fine. And she uses her platform to speak on a lot of black people. And I could understand, no problem. But they made it very clear, like I said, on a lot of people's lives, why they like Paige. It's because of this, because of how she uses her platform to talk about black people. Very clear, word for word, on ESPN, on one of their lives. Right? Then she goes to UConn, which is filled with plenty of girls who have been through that program, who have been in the WNBA. So she's in like a legacy thing. She's a UConn Husky. She played under Gino. They're going to love her regardless. And then they compare her to Caitlin Clark. So now she has a whole nother fan base. Anybody who doesn't like Caitlin Clark, which is Angel Reese fans, anybody like that, yeah, they pretty much don't like Caitlin Clark. So they're going to go ahead and be on Paige Bueckers' side 100%. There's been a lot of things released with the Dallas Wings on Twitter talking about, like, oh, the Dallas Dykes. We're all Dykes here. Nelissa Smith posted it. Oh, this is my first team playing with full Dykes. Like, what? It's kind of mind-blowing to me.
I take it based on, do we have the picture where you can see Paige Bueckers caressing the buttocks of Ozzie Fudd on the red carpet? Let's put there we go. That's Paige Bueckers caressing the buttocks of Ozzie Fudd, her teammate at UConn. There you go. And, you know, if I were Bill, that's how Bill Belichick would be posed up with Ozzie Fudd, who's probably 22 years old. If Bill Belichick were on the red carpet with Ozzie Fudd, that's how Bill Belichick would have his hand. And I get, when I looked on the internet, there's been rumors about this relationship for a long time. Allegedly, you know, a lot of conversation about this relationship. It's clear to see who the alpha is, or the I don't know who the, I wouldn't say the man or the she. Well, I don't know. Maybe because I want to play this other video. Here's Paige Bueckers behind the scenes at the draft, walking to the table where she goes to sit down next to Ozzie Fudd, and quickly tells Ozzie that, hey, I'm mic'd up. Be careful what you say. Let's play that clip.
I forgot about that.
Thank you so much. All right, we take a look here at the draft stage, and we are all lined up. Some of the invited draftees to be joined by Haley Vanley and Georgia A. Representative. Yes, Russell Westbrook.
All Paige Bueckers is lacking in that man suit is a big gold chain and some sort of, and she'd look like, you know, Jalen Rose or some of these other guys that all dress up on NBA draft night. That's all she's lacking. And a year or two ago, there were stories that Paige Bueckers had some boyfriend that I think was an athlete on another team in another sport, but I think it's clear as day she has switched teams. And I think that's why so many WNBA players are going to greet Paige Bueckers with open arms, even though she's white. It's because she seems to be on the same sexual team as everyone else in the WNBA, or the majority of WNBA players. For most of my...
I'm going to be honest, like I said, man, it kind of seems like that. Because last year there's a lot of, oh, it's majority of black dominant, blah, 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 this nonsense. And then now I've already seen it all over social media, the amount of black women who are now talking so highly of Paige, greeting Paige, this and that. And then the Dallas Dykes thing kind of sealed it for me. I'm like, oh, wow.
NBA draft last night.
And like I said, I'm not here to, Paige does what she does, man, but it's just so funny how the league is, that's all.
And I think as the, you know, all the progress that they made last year, I don't know if you remember how feminine the WNBA draft was. Ladies all dressed up nice and feminine. Clearly, with Paige Bueckers at the top of the draft, they went a different route. She dressed as a little man. Good luck to her and all that. But Scap, this is what turns me off about the WNBA. It's someone put it in my tweet, mentions that, hey, look, the WNBA is a lesbian psyop, Jason. And are you going to participate in the lesbian psyop by continuing to promote this brand and this league? And I have real questions about whether I can do it. And I like Caitlin Clark, but I'm not super confident that Caitlin Clark is going to survive the culture in the WNBA. Most of the time, that culture, the culture you exist in, eventually wins out.
I really feel like it, and it's tough, man. It's tough because I follow Paige here and there, but I could just tell by how she walks, how she dresses, how she talks, how she acts, by everything that's been said on the internet, all the things I've seen. And it's just an eye-opener. That's really what it is. It's an eye-opener. It's a real eye-opener, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, you've referenced a couple times my age in relation to you being a little bit younger, but still, I'm at a certain age where it used to be more of a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. not just in sports, but in society as well. Now it's worn on your sleeve, like it has to be some kind of a patch that you carry along. And quite frankly, that is off-putting to the vast majority of fans. Again, working this conversation back to the fan standpoint, like you don't want to hear or see these kinds of things, regardless of what you think about it. Just leave it to yourself. Like keep it, some semblance of privacy, Jason. And as it relates to Paige here, look, far be it from me to impugn her if she wants to become an all-scissors American First Team member here. But someone on your own team, that's my major takeaway.
That's
what
what
are
I'm
the implications
saying, bro.
here, from a team standpoint, in
Thank
inter-locker
you.
room
Thank
kind of
you.
relations during the games? Obviously, they won the championship, so it didn't stop them from doing that. But isn't there some level of decorum, of
There has to be.
professionality that we can at least put forth here and not be banging teammates? Is that what direction we're heading to, Jason?
It's never talked about. Never talked about. But that's one of the biggest issues in women's college basketball, women's softball. It's the sexual complications of these teams and the malfeasance. And people are going to get upset when I say this, but I've been around it long enough, talked to people involved in the game. The stuff that goes on between assistant coaches and players.
All right. I'm not going to get into all of this. Jason's on a good one. Jason's on a good one.
Conversations about her and former players. It's rampant in these sports, and it's never covered. And I'm not defending any of the things that are covered. I'm not defending them, but it's like people will talk about, I think it's Dr. Larry Nassar maybe at Michigan State, and how he sexually abused gymnasts and other athletes at Michigan State, and love that stuff gets exposed. When have we ever heard a story about a coach who young athletes come?
All right. This is far past my pay grade. Well, like I said, it is very clear what's going on with Paige. It's just so funny how the league works. And they said it. They told me. Dan Dakich said it. He said it last year. This is what the league is filled with. And I thought, they're making it very clear. Very clear. So that's what I got for you guys, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Catch you on the next one. I'm out.